What's up, YouTube? Demi here with some more spoilers, news updates, whatever. So they have posted a couple different things today. Again, same as yesterday. They're doing like 3-ish spoilers every day. So we'll go over them together. The previous video will be linked to the description below this one, of course, as always. This is the new Flame Totem. Okay. Alright, so that's basically just the old Incinerate effect. But now it's slightly whiter. It's holy themed instead of flame themed. I'm pretty whatever about that. Alright, next thing. Another example of a base type you create in Path of Exile, Synthesis. So this is a claw with the implicit poisons you inflict deal damage 20% faster. This is not like, you don't get 20% more damage out of this. I guess you get more damage per second, but let me think about this. How do I explain this in a way that makes sense? It makes the burn happen faster, as if it were Ignite. Like, it's less duration for the same amount of damage. So I guess that's good. It doesn't take as long to ramp up the damage. And technically, I guess, yeah, no, I was wrong. You get more damage per second, but your poisons don't last as long, so your potential peak DPS goes down. I don't know. I don't know what this actually would do. I don't play poison builds because I haven't played since they double dipped. But if this brings back double dipping, quote unquote, not actually, but like if it brings back the meta of everybody wants to play damage over time builds, like the new Malevolence aura does as well. You get more damage over time stuff. I mean, I'm okay with that. We could use more non-Fizz to LE conversion on hit builds because I like dot builds. I like the concept of dot builds. I don't like how bad they are, but this should make them better. And now into the big thing. So, Betrayal is going core, which we learned at the announce of Synthesis, but this is how they're going to do it, basically. So we'll go ahead and read this together. Betrayal was a huge leap for us in a number of ways. It wrapped up a sequence of expansions that started with Bestiary, where we added fully featured masters to replace the Forsaken masters that were originally introduced in 1.2.0. That's like Einhar. I'm sorry, that's like Elrion, Haku, Katarina, those people, right? Nico, Einhar, and Alva were all integrated into the game, and the old masters and their associated systems were removed. The old crafting benches and leveling system, all that stuff. As well as being massive in scope, we hit several records for player numbers. Every single PoE expansion, I think, since I've started playing, has been their biggest expansion ever. So, number 1 ARPG confirmed every single league? Yeah, cool. In Betrayal, Jun wasn't quite as integrated as other masters, as she was tied to the league mechanic. In 3.6, she is going core, and we get to make changes to the Betrayal mechanic as a permanent system. So in the next league, she's going to be introduced into Act 9. There's some quest-controlled encounters shortly after, and then once she's introduced, she doesn't reduce any chance for encounters from other masters in the campaign. The chance for encountering a master has been increased, and the other masters will be as common as they were in 3.5. In maps, overall master encounters have been increased from a 33% chance to a 40% chance, so this just means you're going to find more masters more often. Cool. And the chance to encounter any individual master is equally weighted across all 5. So that's Xana, Einhar, Alva, Nico, and Jun, right? All 5. When an area has Jun, that area will contain 3 Betrayal encounters. There will either be a transportation or a fortification encounter, as well as both a research encounter and an intervention encounter. Care has been taken to make sure that the encounters don't overlap while you're completing them. That means you won't get to fight 2 of them at once and just get one shot twice. You just get to one shot once, then you find the other one, and then you get one shot. As this is a very different breakdown to encounters compared to when Betrayal was a league, we're testing and refining the Syndicate member choices and outcomes. With Jones Edition, there are now 5 daily ass objectives. There's now a 20% chance, up from a 16% chance when you complete a map, to have a new ass objective appear on the atlas. In-game, you know, one of these little deeds. Again, the integration of Betrayal does not reduce the chance of the other options occurring. You just get more encounters. Because you encounter fewer overall Betrayal encounters than when Betrayal was the active league, you also encounter fewer safe houses. The rewards have been adjusted somewhat to compensate for this, which means they're going to buff the rewards since you don't get as many. And then, however, specific rewards that were far above the curve of other rewards have been reduced in value. So they're more or less like evening it out. They bring up the lowest potential reward up, and they lower the highest potential reward down, so it's a more like concise group of rewards, if that makes sense. Here's a pretty big thing. Pure Breachstones. They nerfed them across everything. It's pretty great. They reduced the XP gain to 100% for all tiers, down from 250%, and they've reduced the bigger ones down to 150%, down from 350%. So that's good, because these are fucking broken. If you're unaware, there were more level 100s this league in every other league ever combined. As far as I can tell, there's more level 100s that are currently in Betrayal Softcore than there are in Standard. And I don't think people delete their Standard level 100s that often. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you've deleted one, I'm sure somebody's going to leave a comment like, no, I did that. Yeah, I don't think that happens that often. I think if somebody gets a level 100, before this league, it was really difficult to do. Has always been historically very difficult to do, so most people just hold on to that 100 because they're proud of it. I don't think they delete it, so seeing that count being so low in Standard in comparison to this league is kind of insane when you think about it. Alright, continuing the nerfs, they reduced the pack size modifiers, they've reduced the level of the zones, and they have reduced the Tree of the Breachstones area level as well. These nerfs only affect experience gain. Boss item rewards from these Breachstones have not been affected. So, this is where I don't know if this is completely accurate, because if you reduce the pack size of a Breachstone, you lose the mobs, right? Less mobs means less loot. So I don't know if this is entirely accurate. I'm pretty sure if you get less mobs in a map, you're going to get less loot and less XP, not just XP, unless they boosted the quantity and rarity to compensate of the maps or the Breachstones, whatever. Also, because of the way that this works, I'm pretty sure there are no legacy versions of these pure Breachstones. So if you heavily invested in them, the ones that you invested in will most likely be nerfed as well, so keep that in mind. Alright, now into Scarab Nerfs and rebalances. Cartography Scarabs, Divination Scarabs, and Sulfite Scarabs have all been reduced in power, so that's just generic nerfs. Cartography and Divination are 50% less effective. Sulfite is 60 to 70% less effective, depending on tier. I don't like this. I've seen a few other people complaining about this as well. Because it's so hard to get Sulfite in the core game, like I've been playing Standard the past month or so since I finished 36 challenges in League, it's pretty difficult to get Sulfite here. Like I don't fill up on Sulfite more than like every 2 or 3 days, and then I go delve for like an hour or two and then I'm out. Unless I'm pushing down as well, so I'm doing like depth 4, 500, 600, you know? Which means that if you're doing the side delving thing at like depth 30, you're not gonna lose anything, but it just means it's really, really difficult to get Sulfite to push deeper, which is the whole point of Delve. Like, I don't like the fact that they're giving us this nerf when this is primarily helping people go deeper, not sideways, because it doesn't cost Sulfite to go sideways nearly as much as it does to go down. I don't know, let me know what you guys think about that. I think this should have been not done. Like, I'm perfectly okay with nerfing the Map Scarab and the Divination Scarabs, but Sulfite, because it's so hard to get, you have like a 1 in 5 in a 1 in 40 chance, or sorry, how did this work? You have a 2 out of 5 chance to encounter a master and a 1 in 5 chance for that master to be Nico, and then you have like a chance of getting 1, 2, or 3 Sulfites out of that map. So it's like the Sulfite Scarabs guarantee that you can spawn that and get enough to actually go down, you know? I don't know. They've also adjusted some other things that they don't want to talk about, I guess. A number of changes are being made to the Mastermind encounter, predominantly making the fight easier. Good, because it was pretty rippy. I mean, I did it first try, deathless, but like I was a relatively low level one and I had a pretty safe character for it, lots of life regen, you know, so I could just sit there and figure it out. Completing the fight no longer resets your entire syndicate, but reshuffles the organization and removes 1 rank from each member. So the issue with Syndicate and Mastermind was that once you set up your Syndicate thing, you didn't want to lose it because you had rewards get guaranteed from specific setups, right? And now they said that this is going to make people want to do the Mastermind encounter because they made it easier and it doesn't reset your Syndicate. But reshuffling it is the same thing as resetting it, because you're no longer going to have the positions that you want to farm the loot that you want to get out of it. In my eyes. I don't know. Overall, the goal is to make the cycle of Syndicate encounters, safe houses, and the Mastermind appealing to players and the correct play to play. So they are actually telling us how to play for like... That's weird. They don't usually do that. They just do whatever you want, you know, whatever. By flattening aberrant rewards, is that a pun for the fossil, and making the cycle more efficient, we want to make the most fun, varied, and complete experience also the most rewarding and one players are happy to repeat. Okay, sure, I get that. They want you to actually do the full league mechanic, not just spam safe houses, you know? We do not expect that reality will match our exact vision on just the first iteration, but we are committed to ongoing changes to match the goal that we want. So they're going to keep working on it over time, as with all things that go core into the standard game, you know. They're still working on it, but it won't be perfect right away, as usual. As well as the Immortal Syndicate, Betrayal introduced veiled items and an updated, streamlined crafting experience. We have seen a need to make several adjustments for veiled mods when they are added to the core game. We've reduced the number of ranks on many veiled crafting modifiers, and most modifiers require more unveiling to gain higher tiers. That seems... what? We've reduced the number of ranks, but they require more unveiling? I guess, oh, the XP bar, I got you. The XP bar takes more, whatever. Some high value modifiers, like additional totems on shields and non-chaos added as chaos on everything, are becoming Elder or Shaper mods. Okay. I think non-chaos is chaos is an Elder amulet prefix, so most likely that'll be an Elder mod, and totems will be Shaper mod, maybe? We'll see. And also, we don't normally have a need to discuss the lore when a league becomes a core experience. In Betrayal, they focus heavily on making the lore accessible, interesting, and deep. We've received much more feedback about the characters and their interactions in Betrayal than we normally do, so they thought we should cover this. Some players have noted that game lore has been lost from the game with the removal of the old master conversations. We're looking at places to re-include important elements of this information in future content. And thank you all for playing Betrayal. Yay! So, what does this exactly mean? The lore thing, like, PoE's lore, it's like Dark Souls lore is the closest, like, game I can compare it to. You have to read everything in the game. The flavor text, talk to everybody, get all the dialogue options, you know, explore the realms and stuff to actually get the full story, which I like and dislike. I like it because it means I don't have to care about it. I dislike it because it means I have literally no idea what's happening in the lore ever. I don't know anything about PoE's lore, but I'm not the type of person who's particularly interested in that, so if you are, well, then they're going to fix it for you. If you're not interested in it, then none of that matters. So overall, what does this mean? I think I expected everything here. I knew Breachstones were going to get nerfed. I didn't really... I'm pretty sure that I thought the map and the Divination Scarabs were going to get nerfed. I didn't think Sulfide Scarabs were going to get nerfed, but again, I don't like that. The fact that they're changing some of the Veiled mods to be Elder and Shaper mods is kind of annoying because it further dilutes the pool, but it also means that we don't have the multi-mod bullshit meta anymore. And let me show you some items that I have in League that are just like, what the heck? So you can make gloves like this. Come on, load. You can make gloves like this pretty easily. And this is a 50% conversion, attack speed, LE damage, crit life pair of gloves. You just alt spam for T1 life on a magic item, regal it, annul off whatever you regaled, and then multi-mod it, right? So if they remove the ability for those mods to be on the workbench, and they're actual mods you have to roll, you have to try harder to hit those mods in the first place. It's not a guaranteed result from the workbench. So I think that'll help like diffuse the demand of exalted orbs, since most of the master mods cost, the good end ones, high end ones, whatever, they cost a lot of exalts. That'll help reduce the overall demand of exalts in the leagues, like these 1 to 2 to 3x costs, you know? I think that's a good thing personally. I think the 200 exalt or 200 chaos per exalt price that we saw this league was kind of ridiculous, and it was primarily driven by the fact that you could make best in slot gear just by multi-modding a 1 stat or a 2 stat. But this means that we're actually going to have to try to roll those mods, which I like, because it means more focus on actual crafting and not just annulling things and then multi-modding them into whatever the hell you want. So I'm pretty happy with this. It's a pretty, I mean, it is going to be a pretty big change. I don't know how I feel about the Syndicate thing, the Mastermind change. I'm pretty sure people are still not going to complete the Mastermind, so I'm going to have to actually teach myself to set up my Syndicate correctly so I can farm specific things. Most likely I'm going to want to find Scarabs and White Socket benches. For Standard especially, I need to farm a lot of stuff like that. Redo all of my mirror items. Get 28 quality on all of my ES gear. And then I have like some 950 ES chests with 28 quality workbench and then 18 quality suffix. They go to like 10,000, or sorry, 1,060 ES or so. Helmets as well. I'm going to have like 500 plus ES helmets, 700 plus ES shields. It'll be fun. Standard's going to be a silly place, but you can also say that because we now have 5 leagues in the next league, in addition to Synthesis, it's going to be even more overwhelming to play the temporary leagues, to learn the actual old mechanics as well as the new mechanic at the same time. It's just insane for new players to be expected to understand anything that's going on. I don't know. This league especially, Betrayal League, I saw a large number of players get very tired of this league mechanic, Betrayal and Syndicate, and just play Standard because it was just too much at once. Getting all of the other, like, Delve, Xana, Bestiary, Incursion, like, everything all at once was just too much. And now we're getting Synthesis on top of that, and Betrayal's going core. I don't know, I foresee a lot more people getting tired of that and just starting to play standard, like me. Which again, nothing wrong with that. Perfectly okay to play standard if you don't want to keep restarting. And because of the stuff like this, because of like unlocking veiled mods is going to take forever, because of how little you encounter syndicates, like it's going to be pretty difficult to fully unveil your workbench again. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be like a super long-term project for me to unlock every veiled mod in standard so I can craft with it, you know? I don't know. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And of course, if you want to join my Discord and discuss it there, there's a link at the top of the description. And friendly reminder, we have new merch, new potato merch at teespring.com/Demi store. It's in the description of this video. Discount code LEMON for 10% off. I'm pretty happy with it. Das Lewis and I have been working together to make some pretty cool merch. So if you have any other ideas that you want made, let us know. But merch is in the description. I think that'll be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and that'll be Demi out.